happens, then it leads to a lot of neurodegenerative disorders like Alzheimer, Parkinson. Basically, they lead to all of those things.
Have you any studies which have shown any linkage with the neuro?
Yes, I have submitted one report to Secretary DOT, and that report was submitted in December 2010, where we have, it's a 30 pages report, and in that 30 pages report, in addition to that, we have given references of 200 reference papers, and in those 200 reference papers, categorized for each and every health which I have mentioned, we have given technical scientific references. So let's see now, of 4 bed disturbs, stage 4 sleep. This is, I have taken it right from the thing. I have not added my own adjectives, adverbs, verb, straightway taken over there. The stage important for this. And see some simple things like keeping mobile phone next to head or pillow. In fact, see that people are aware. Now this mobile phone in general, even when you are not using, it sends one pulse to the base station. Of course, technology is different of them, they do. So some mobile phone may send 1 pulse a minute. In fact, I know that earlier there was a one model, I read it about it, it sends 2 pulse per minute. Then there are some other model, they send maybe 1 pulse in few minutes. So, but a general rule of thumb which people say, it sends 1 pulse per minute. Now, if you are going to sleep for, let's say, 6 hours, put mobile phone right here, then 6 into 60, 360 pulses. And by the way, one more thing I want to tell you. The mobile phones which are being used in India, majority of them transmit about 1 to 2 watt of power. Whereas in most of the Western world, I found those things that they transmit only 0.25 watt power. So we are transmitting 1 to 2 watt of power, they are transmitting 0.25. So naturally they are transmitting 1/4 of the power. So we should seriously think about why they are doing it. Okay, so risk to children is much more. I already told you that they are going to do Mobi Kids, but I don't know for what. It's a very authentic scientific paper. If you use mobile phone for the longer time, penetration to this thing is 25%. For a 10-year-old child, it's 40%. It is about 75%, but see, take everything with a pinch of salt, because they are it may not be exact number, but it gives you an idea about what is happening over there. So risk to pregnant women, I would like to emphasize here that we know actually of several cases in Mumbai where ladies actually had a miscarriage, and the reason for that is, see, that little baby, which is when it is born, it's a of a very piece of, and slowly it is growing. It is fully surrounded by the fluid, and when this thing is getting heated up, so what happens, that there is a pressure exerted on that tiny little baby, and depending upon the exposure time and the power, whatever is the power density there, so that is getting absorbed and that baby is getting cooked. So it is not necessary always it will result into miscarriage. There are reports that this can lead to mutant people in time to come. So I mentioned about eyes, because if it is close to our one side, eyes are very close to that. So on the side of the eye, that liquid will start getting dried up, and you can see that a good quality eye, or they use the word lens, you can see that everything is focused, whereas if it is you can see that how it is getting defocused. Irreversible infertility. If you see that they did this study here, that 30% sperm decrease in intensive mobile phone user, and it is even further well defined. So if you use for greater than 4 hours per day, it is much more than that. 10 minutes of the phone, that is what is leading of the blood. And if there is a clutter of the blood, there will be a poor circulation, there will be poor oxygen transport, there will be a reduces the waste removal, and these things will lead ultimately to the problem. Your blood is getting clotted inside. So this is the study by Professor Henley Lai, DNA damage, but we do have one Professor Nampuri. He is going to talk in the afternoon, who has done a very scientific study about DNA in India also. But let me just tell here, and you had asked that question, let me just say very clearly, what you see on the left-hand side, that is the unexposed or controlled bundle of DNA. If that is exposed by X-ray, X-ray is very fast, very brutal. You can see that the DNA thing is totally break it. You can see that very clear. But mobile phones are not so subtle, or 2.45, 2 hour, you can see that what is happening to the DNA. So it is coming like a doom to, right? So there is a trail cloud behind that. So let's see interesting things. FCC advises. FCC is not an Indian government, it is FCC is USA. What they advise, cell phone radiation, text, don't talk. Why should they do that? Because if you text, it is going to signal only after you have typed the entire message. Half an hour of cell phone use a day increases brain cancer risk. KEM hospital proves hearing problem, and this is a very, very latest study, 26 October 2001. You can't read that, but I have given the reference. Please check that, and then please tell KEM hospital that they are doing wrong study, right, or right study, whatever it is. Now this another thing has come very recent, 16th November, just 4 days back. And what is that? JJ and Nair hospital also say hearing problem with mobile phone. And I want to tell you here, they have written very explicitly that they do the medical exam of all their students every year. So this year, when they did the check, they found for 50% of the cases, they had some kind of a hearing loss. Fortunately, it was not a permanent hearing loss. They could not hear some of the high frequency components, and it's a very drastic. They did the survey. They did in-house to their own interns, to their own students. They did that check last year. They did that this year, and this is what is their report. Because see, earlier what we were told, no study has been done in India, and we want to do it. Just like what it was said, WHO said earlier, no health effect. Then it says health effect, and they actually said, we will do study in India. Well, now there is a study in India. This one just yesterday told you radiation norm set for mobile towers. Okay. Now the entire thing is actually done, as I said, exactly 10 months after what it has been done. 5 months back, Mr. Sachin Pilot had said that, and in this entire thing, they're all talking about we are reducing the level from 2 to 1.6. And we are going to tell the operators, everybody, to write the SAR value. At least that's a good thing. At least you will know when you want to buy a mobile phone, you know what is the SAR value of the mobile phone. You don't have to internet search it. You don't need an IIT professor to tell you what is a SAR. Now you can read it. So next time when you buy your phone, along with the features of the phone, you please see what are the associated SAR values. One more thing I want to tell you there, that in this entire thing, there's only one line written on the cell tower, okay? See if you can find it. So there's only one line written there that IMC had proposed to adopt 1/10 of the current norm. And I'm going to discuss more when I talk about the tower. And we are going to make sure that it gets implemented. So one line, it is hidden somewhere. In fact, somebody called me yesterday, this coverage has come. He said there is nothing mentioned about tower. I said, please read, there is a one line. Oh, I missed that, okay? So, in fact, I wrote one article for Popular Science, which is the September 2001. In fact, it is a very important thing in a way that Popular Science actually launched their first inaugural edition in India. So they came to me that, please professor, write an article. I didn't go to them that I want to write an article. So they said, you write an article. So I've written a 2-page article there, but I just want to tell what I suggested as the solution. So while the cell has become an additional appendage for most of us, all this of course does not mean that we have to start using cell phone. I don't know why people got the idea that I'm against cell phone, I'm against cell tower, I'm against cell tower people. No, I'm for the people. I'm for the truth. You must understand what is the truth and nothing but the truth. If I had anything wrong, why would I call operators personally myself? Because we want to educate them also. Maybe they don't know to help associated with that. Because I'll tell you one thing. We did not invent this technology. See, the most of the people who are the major stakeholders or the things, let's say Reliance, Tata, Bharti, Mittals, all those big people are there. I actually notice it's about 30 to 40% of the GDP of this country. Telecom operators are involved. So it is one of the fastest growing industry. But the problem is that these people adopted the technology without understanding the problem associated with it. And when you adopt blindly something without understanding, you pay the price a decade later. So let's see what are the things. All I would like to say, limit your use, talk for short duration. If possible, use SMS, use cell phone with lower SAR value. You can use the speaker phone or hands-free or Bluetooth, but keep the cell phone at a distance. You know, the reason why I have to say, a lot of people ask me that question, that can I use wired one, can I use Bluetooth? The question is at that time, suppose you put your phone like this, and you have put a wired here. So what you are doing? Now that entire phone is radiating towards your heart. So in fact, now 50% of the radiation is absorbed by your heart. If you hold it like this, it's roughly 1/3 of that is intercepted by our head. If you put it over here, then this is getting absorbed here. So you have to decide which part of the body you don't like. Right? So cook that part. Okay? But at the same time, say Bluetooth then. So if you use Bluetooth, now there are, see, Bluetooth also radiates. But Bluetooth has this thing that it transmits 10 milliwatt of power. But again, if you use Bluetooth compared to if you put it here, this is additional 10 milliwatt, then this is going to transmit additional 10 milliwatt, and anyway, half of that is getting absorbed. So you're not going to do any justice to you. But what you do, you want to use Bluetooth, keep it away from you. And Bluetooth has good range. You can still talk like this. It's not a problem. And it's good that I'm not involved in the Bluetooth development. Then, of course, use when available. Do not keep cell phones in your hand pocket. Well, if you are going to your office, well, you have to carry it. But once you reach the office, keep it on your table. You come home, keep it on the table. You don't have to carry it. When you sleep, not keep it here. I use a very simple thing. Keep your mobile phone at an arm's length. What is wrong in that? A simple remedy. And at home, but thing I don't understand, why there is so much opposition? Do you think, even if you know that there are health problems associated with mobile phone, will you stop using it? Not really. I told you my own example. 2001, I had so many health problems. Have I stopped using? I'm still carrying a mobile phone. Why? Well, it is an absolute fantastic thing. You know, you can communicate with your people, you can tell what it is, good, bad, everything, you can do it. So we need the technology. But why can't we admit there are certain problems? It's very, very simple. A knife can be used to cut vegetables, a knife can be used to put butter on the toast, knife can also be used to kill a person, and knife can also be used by a doctor to do surgery. So I would like to thank you. And, well, floor is open. You have all the questions you can ask. We'll start the second part after a few minutes. So I'm still on time.